just lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Football, bloody hell.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to another Premier League Game Week review. Today I'm with John. How are you, John?
Oh, I'm good. Yourself?
Good. I'm good, thank you. You're a Chelsea fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you were happy with that result of the weekend. We'll be reviewing that as well as all the other results. I certainly was happy with the United result as well. Yeah. We'll get into it though. Everton 0, Aston Villa 1, and as much as I hate to say it, they're doing well under Steven Gerrard, aren't they? They're playing good football. I only got to catch the first half of this. I've watched the highlights on Match of the Day. Because obviously I went to the United match, so I had to leave at half time. But they're playing good football, although Everton are sort of in the mud as well. They just had Duncan Ferguson, obviously, as his first game as interim manager for the second time. Now, what did you think of this game?
I think Everton are now properly in the mud. They're only 4 points off Newcastle.
Yeah.
Although the bottom of the table is a bit odd because you've got some that have played 22, some that have played 18. So it's difficult to actually know who is mudded and who's not. Yeah,
you're right. There's talk of Roberto Martinez being a permanent manager again. What do you think of that idea? I'm not sure that's a great idea.
No, because he would stay at Belgium, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. It didn't really work the first time. They've tried so many different styles. They've tried Roberto Martinez, Carlo Ancelotti, Rafa Benitez. They've tried so many. They've tried Marco Silva, and it's just not worked. The club isn't being run in a correct way. From what I've heard from some fans on Twitter Spaces and some fans online, a lot of the fans feel very disconnected from the club. And although the money is being pumped into the club properly and spent, well, it's being spent, it's just not being spent correctly. Similar, in a way, to United, although money isn't being pumped into United. Sort of the money isn't being spent correctly in the recruitment and things like that. Can you see the sort of similarities there, or do you disagree?
Yeah, I think to say that United haven't pumped money in, if you actually go through the squad, there's a lot of money there.
It's not being spent correctly though, but
and the money's 80 million on Maguire.
That's the club's money though.
Why are you doing that?
Oh, I agree, but that's the club's money, so it's being pumped in Everton from the owners of Everton, whereas Man United's money is just the club's money, and the Glazers are taking money out. They're not putting any money in. That's the sort of difference in a way / similarity. You could, I guess,
someone in recruitment is getting it wrong at Everton.
Yeah.
They had James Rodriguez, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
that wouldn't have been cheap.
No, I think he was on a lot of money. I'm not sure whether it was a permanent move or a loan. Was it a permanent?
It was a loan.
Loan, yeah. He would have been on a lot of wages.
Yeah, that's going to be a $200K deal.
Yeah, exactly. And then they've got Decore, which he won't be on that many wages, but they've got also Alan, and then they've got Pickford, England's number one. He'll be on quite a lot of wages. They've not spent very well. Although the players that I've just picked out in terms of Pickford, I would say he's one of their least priorities to get rid of or replace, in my opinion. What are the positions you think they need to replace most importantly?
They do seem to be shipping a fair few goals, and they're not really scoring anymore. Like when you actually look at, they've conceded 35 and scored 24, and they need to be scoring more than 24.
100%. And obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injury plays a huge part in that. He contributes to a lot of goals for them. But at the end of the day, recruiting Rondon wasn't a good idea at all. Why would you go and get Rondon from the Chinese league? How old is he? 33 or something like that? It's a bad decision. Someone like Callum Wilson was available. Do you know what I mean? Or who else can I think of? Maybe not Michail Antonio because of how well he's been doing at West Ham, but someone on that ilk of player was probably available for less than they got Rondon for, probably.
Well, you could even look at Championship.
Exactly.
Like the Chinese league. No disrespect, but that's a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Armstrong was a good buy for Southampton from Blackburn. They could have got Armstrong rather than getting Rondon. I know Rondon had one good season for West Brom, and that was not. Was it West Brom or was it with Newcastle? I think it was with Newcastle actually, under Rafa Benitez, and Rafa Benitez decided to buy him back. It was a very bad decision. Just another bad decision for that club. Now, who do you think is the ideal man to sort of take them back to where they want to be as fans, like ideally?
I've heard Rooney and Lampard are in the running.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
Rooney wouldn't be bad because he's going to go from Derby. Let's be honest.
Probably
that whole situation isn't exactly ideal.
There's been a bid put in for Derby though. I'm not sure if you've seen.
Mike Ashley.
Was it Mike Ashley?
I think he's thinking about it.
I hope it's not Mike Ashley because at the end of the day, I want Rooney to succeed with the best available sort of facilities and things like that. But again, like you say, Rooney seems to be doing well, but I almost feel like that job is in a way doomed. So it sort of makes the question very difficult in the sense of who's the ideal man. Then
and they'll get the fans on side as well.
100%. Obviously, the fans love him. He loves the club. Hopefully, he doesn't love the club as much as he does love United, but he loves the club. And it would sort of be another, in a way, club maybe legend to them. I don't know if they would call him a legend or not, but he's an English legend for sure.
Yeah.
And it would be another one of them in the Premier League. But then if you look at Lampard, who's also an English legend, he helped rebuild Chelsea with the academy and with the transfer ban. So you could say possibly Lampard could bring some academy players through and sort of rebuild that way. Maybe that would be
what he did with Derby. They might get a few Chelsea loanees. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, why not? And at the end of the day, it worked. Obviously, you look at Reece James now. You look at Chalobah now. You look at Mason Mount now. Two of them are Champions League winners. As you know, you've got the replica Champions League trophy behind you, which I'm very jealous of. But at the end of the day, it just seems to be all downhill for Everton. Personally, I don't like Everton at all. I hope they get relegated. I don't really care if they get relegated or not, to be fair. But with Aston Villa, I want to ask your opinion on where's the realistic finish for them at the moment, because they seem to be just progressing constantly. And I hate to say it because obviously of who's in charge there. I'm so glad we beat them. Well, we're unbeaten against them. So, like as in with Steven Gerrard in charge. So, what's the ideal position for them to finish realistically?
I would think like 9th or 10th.
Okay.
But I don't think they'll get top 6.
I don't.
I don't think that's realistic for them.
No, I agree. They've had a very good transfer window, haven't they? They've got Luke Dean. They've got Coutinho on loan. Who else have they got? They got another player as well, didn't they? Or am I wrong in saying that?
I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did. I can't remember who it was though. It's gone out of my head. We're just getting to the 2 comments here. Just I'm Arnie saying yo and Flaxton saying yo. I hope yous are all right. Hope you're having a good day. But we'll move on to Man United 1, West Ham 0. And I want to ask you this. Ask your opinion on this in a second, because in my opinion, I've spoken to quite a lot of people about this game, and a lot of people said we improved, and it looks like we're getting better and better and better each game. And I'm one to always be positive. However, in my opinion, this was a very stressful watch from sitting there at Old Trafford in the freezing cold, watching us give the ball away hundreds of times, get every single piece of play. Now, I've got a confession to make. I left before the Marcus Rashford goal. And we normally leave around 1 to 2 minutes early, and I know people won't like this. We normally leave to get the tram because there's a huge rush, and I've got sort of in a way a little bit of anxiety with things like that. So we normally leave. So exactly. So we normally leave to sort of miss the rush. However, whilst we were sort of walking to the tram stop, we managed to sort of see, to hear the goal going in. To hear the cheer. It was a slightly less cheer, a slightly sort of quieter cheer than I thought it would be. So I thought at first it was a West Ham goal. However, I think it was because people were saying VAR checking it and things like that. Now, what's your opinion on this game? Because again, like I said, I don't think we played too well, but I'm glad with the win. I'm very happy with the win.
Yeah, West Ham are doing very well for West Ham. Like you had to win that game. You lose that game, and it's not looking good.
No.
I think you played all right. Nothing like, I'm not looking at Man United and going, oh, they're decent.
Yeah.
They're going to challenge us for top 4.
I think so.
You're just there.
Yeah, in a way, right now we are just there. Hopefully, I'm hoping we can get them wins. I'm still people are sort of getting annoyed at me for this, but I'm still sort of deluding myself into saying we're going to win the Champions League this season. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
trying to believe myself. We've got Atletico Madrid. Tough game, very tough game. I hope we could just go there and sort of batter them, but it's not going to be like that, is it? It's going to be.
It's going to be tight.
Difficult. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. But I want to praise someone for having a great game this game, and someone who's had a lot of slack and a lot of criticism by me included, and a lot of our fans, probably most of our fans, and that's Harry Maguire. There's a stat that Manchester United have kept 3 clean sheets under Ralph Rangnick so far, and Harry Maguire has been involved in all of them 3 clean sheets. As bad as he's been, and as much as he probably doesn't deserve to be captain, he deserves credit for that 100%. And he had I would argue, a monster performance for this. What is your thoughts on Maguire? Do you think he should be captain, or?
I wouldn't have him as captain.
No.
He's not captain material. I'd give it Ronaldo.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's Ronaldo. I think he's the United's equivalent of Marcus Alonso. Rubbish footballer, but when he has a good game, it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you're right. You're completely right, yeah.
You look in the lineup and you go, if he has a good game, we'll win the game. If he balls it up, we'll lose.
Yeah, you're completely right. I can't agree with you more. Dia says, hello, hope you're all right, Dia. Donny says, smash that like button while you're here. Thank you for that, Donny. And also go to Donny's Twitter and vote for Donny in the round, as I've just seen Donny ask for me to say that. Flaxton says, pain. Imani says, it wasn't bad. We had control of the game. If we had better wide attacking players, we would have won that game convincingly. I could agree with that. I think.
You mean like the £17 million man that you bought in the summer?
Yeah, but well, to be fair, he is off with sort of family reasons. One of his family members passed away, so that is why he's off currently. Yeah. But that is why he's off currently. West Ham is a giant killer. They played reactive football. A 1-0 win is good for us. Oh, 100% Flaxton. I'll take that win all day long.
Yeah,
if you'd have asked me. Yeah, exactly. They're a very good side. They're probably arguably better than us at the moment. So I will take that win. If you'd have asked me at half time, would you take a 1-0 win? Of course I would, 100%.
Yeah, any game. Probably a 1-0 win.
Yeah. 100%. Flaxton says if Greenwood was in Cavani's position, he would have shot it. I could agree with that, but I could also argue that Greenwood has sort of the right to shoot from there because he's been touted as one of our best ever finishers already. Do you know what I mean? At the club. So possibly he should shoot there. Do you agree with that?
He's been touted as one of your best ever.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's the best finisher. Greenwood is the best finisher he's ever seen.
Is he all right? Someone needs to check up on Ollie. Because if you think of the players that Man United have had that can hit a ball, and Greenwood's younger than me.
Yeah, he's not that much older than me. I think he's 1 or 2 years older than me. Flaxton says agreed with John. Dia Dia says there was progress in my opinion. There has been progress. Near midfielder badly. We controlled the game defensively, but we don't take enough risks and create. 100%. You spot on. You spot on. Imani says that was a decent performance. Need Victor back immediately. Oh yeah. Obviously, hopefully Lindelof and his family are okay. He's been through a lot this year. He's had COVID. His family have been robbed whilst he's playing. His son has been ill in hospital. So much has happened. He's had injuries. He's been through a lot over the past 12 months. So to come back from that and have good performances like he has done this season, massive praise to him. I hope he's all right and comes back all guns blazing. Pineapple says, Sue, hope you're all right, Pineapple. The look on John's face after my comments. Well, it's true quotes. Flaxman says, yeah, I know he is, but he hasn't showed it in the last few games. Oh, yeah. I completely agree. I think he needs to try and pick up some form again. A little bit like Rashford, who I'll ask you about now. Marcus Rashford, I could not be happier for this man. And I'm saying this with such a smile on my face. I like when I say I backed this man through the trenches, I mean through the worst performances he could possibly have. I said he'll be back. He'll be back. He's not just finished. He'll be back, and he is. 2 goals in 2 games and good performances as well. And as the alternative MUFC commentary says, is it Walcott or Pele? And the past 2 games, it's been Marcus Pele. Now, I want your opinion on Marcus Rashford and your opinion on him regaining confidence again.
I think a lot of people, they only see him as like a PR man. They don't actually care about what he does on the field. So he could score a hat-trick every game and people would still call him a PR merchant.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Because he cares for people.
Yeah.
But he's a good footballer. When he's on his game, quality player.
I completely agree. There's so many factors that have gone into him and the dip of his form, in my opinion. So his past 12 to 24 months, he's had relationship issues, which is bound to affect anyone in their everyday life.
Yeah.
He's received racial abuse, which again is bound to affect everyone in their everyday life and shouldn't happen. He's missed the penalty for England, which again, it was going to knock his confidence, regardless of whether people were angry at him for that or not. I was more upset for him because I knew what was coming instantly after that penalty, as I'm sure most of us did know what was coming. And he's been playing with injury and pain, and he's had surgery for his injuries and pain, and then relationship issues again. So that's a lot for someone to go through in 12 to 24 months, regardless of him being a professional athlete. So it's going to affect everyone. Do you agree with that sort of statement?
Yeah, I can't think of one English player that has actually come back from the Euros and played well.
I would say Saka personally. I would argue that Saka is.
Yeah. But there aren't many.
No, there's not many at all.
Because they've had to play a whole Premier League season, play the Euros, and then come back.
Yeah. Well, they've played non-stop since June 2020, really. Since Project Restart, they've played basically a game every 3 to 4 days, which it's a tight schedule, obviously, and we've got to play the games somehow, do you know what I mean, and play the games somewhere. But at the end of the day, there's not many that have come back and regained confidence and regained form. Imani says Declan Rice, he is one of them. Now, we'll speak about West Ham now. Obviously, we spoke about them briefly. West Ham, now, I'm very, very jealous of the way that club sort of right now in this moment of time, not in general, it's been rebuilt in a way. And Declan Rice has been a huge part of that. I assume you want him at Chelsea, and that's where his most likely destination is at the moment.
A few years ago, I wouldn't have taken him. But now, Jorginho's getting on, Kovacic, Kante's getting injured a lot more now.
Yeah.
So if we have Declan Rice for like 60 million, sure. But when we last went in for him, they wanted like 150 million.
Yeah.
Which is that's mental.
I think he's worth 80 million personally. I don't think he's worth 100. I think he's worth 80. And I know people said that about Maguire at the time. But I think Declan Rice is another level. Maybe that's just because I'm jealous of have not having a holding midfielder at Manchester United. I don't know.
I think it'll be a bidding war between us two.
Possibly, yeah. It seems that United seem to be sort of obsessed with him. It has been the quotes at the moment. And he sort of praised Old Trafford, saying it's one of the best places he's ever played at, which is probably the same for most players.
We just need one conversation to Mason Mount, and he's ours. And John Terry. Tell John Terry to get him, and he'll be ours.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
He was pictures at his house the other
day. John Terry's house?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
I don't like that. I don't know if I'd want him at United with him being mates with that idiot. I know you love John Terry, but I can't stand him personally. We'll go on to sort of Newcastle and Leeds, though. What a shocking win. And I know Leeds aren't on the best form, but they very rarely get wins this season, Newcastle, and they've managed to get one. Now, do you think there's any hope of them staying up?
Leeds?
Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle will stay up comfortably.
Really?
Yeah. Norwich are one of the worst Premier League sides I've ever seen in my life. They're down.
I can't agree.
Watford, they're down. And Burnley, they're down. Burnley won't win all their games in end.
No, but I think Norwich are better than Newcastle. One of our best left backs. I would say our second best left back is at Norwich. I would argue.
They're currently buying the entirety of everyone. They're just going around and going, right, we want you.
Well, they could have got Martial, though. They could have got Martial, who he would have been all right for them. I'm not saying he would have lit the league up, because he's not done that with United either. But he would have been all right for them. He would have been an improvement on Almiron, on Ryan Fraser, on these players. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure. I can't see them staying up personally. I did have to do something special in the window and get a few more defenders in, as well as Trippier this week. Obviously, yeah, the window ends in like 6 to 7 days. Do you think that they've got enough to stay up currently?
Yeah, they need to shore up that back four when they've done that. They score against like your Watford, your Burnley, your Norwich, your Everton. They score enough.
True.
They lose the game 3-2 because the back four is awful.
Yeah. I massively disagree with you. I can't say that they'll stay up. I think they're almost definitely down personally. But again, it's a great opinion to have.
3 points off Norwich.
Oh, yeah, it's very close down there, but I think Norwich are better than them personally. I said about 2 months ago now, I think Norwich are staying up. I just seen something in them. You don't reckon? They've managed to string a few results together.
Absolutely no chance Norwich stay up.
We could come back to this at the end of the season. One of us is going to be wrong, aren't we? We could be here arguing all day.
It'll be between Norwich and Newcastle, the last game of the season.
Could go right down to the wire, like you say. I find it more interesting when the relegation battle goes right down to the wire. Newcastle, my boyhood club, is staying up, Imani says. Rice, Gallagher, Mount, good midfield for the future for Chelsea. If Rice goes, what do you think of Conor Gallagher, actually, before we move on?
I went to school with him. And
did you?
Yeah. The things that he's overcome, like he had heart surgery when he was 13. And they said, like, you'll never play football again in your life. So to now be doing what he's doing is absolutely unreal.
Yeah, it's very inspiring, that. Just like Christian Eriksen's story is very inspiring. Sort of linked with a Premier League move. I think he's close to another Premier League move to Brentford. So I didn't know that story about Conor Gallagher, and that makes me like him even more.
And he's a very likable person as well.
He seems it, yeah. From what I've not seen that much of him as an actual person rather than a player, but he seems it just from looking at him. Whereas if you look at someone like Phil Foden, for example, one of the most dislikable people in the world.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about him, though. You just look at him and you go,
yeah, his face.
No.
It gives you dickhead vibes, something like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Gallagher as a player. I'd take him at United for sure. Rice is 50 million, in my opinion, but English tax is unreal. I'm massively English
if
tax
they
is
went
unreal.
50 million, there'd be an absolute bidding war between City, United, and Chelsea.
Yeah. I massively disagree that he's 50 million. I think he's 80 million personally. I was having a discussion with my driving instructor yesterday about Declan Rice, and he thinks he's 60 million. I think he's 80 million personally. Viva John Terry. I won't sing it to you because I'm not going to wind you up like that. I don't want any slander.
At least he won it in the end.
Oh,
unlike someone that slipped.
Watford, Newcastle, Burnley going down. Dean Smith to make history for Norwich. I agree with that. I think what Norwich did was they sacked Daniel Farke as soon as they got a win because they thought we could, if we get a new manager and we could string a few wins together here, and that is exactly what they're doing. I agree with that. We'll come back to this at the end of the season.
They scored 13 goals in 22 games. They're not even on a goal every other game.
They struggled to score, but somehow they're putting results together. Somehow. Whether that's draws, whether that's wins, somehow they've dragged themselves out of that relegation zone. Brandon Williams to do a madness. I think he could do, personally. Watford, Burnley and Norwich, in my opinion. It's close down there, and it's going to be very interesting to see who does go down.
No one's thinking Everton, then.
Do you think they could go down, Everton?
I think they'll be close. I don't think they'll actually go down, but it'll be close.
No, yeah. Now, I want to ask your opinion on probably the most overhyped manager in the Premier League last season, Marcelo Bielsa. Gary Neville managed to overhype him more than anyone. And it's not working out right now, is it? Do you think there's got to be Sorry, go on.
He baffles me.
How come?
He can lose 7-1 and they'll praise him and go, why don't you score the goal?
Yeah.
But you lost the game.
Yeah. Oh, well done. You went for it the whole game. Well, you're losing 5-0 at the point you went for it. Do you know what I mean? You've got nothing to lose. Now, surely there's got to be a point where the fans, well, not the fans, Leeds just say in general, he's got to go. We've got to get rid of this guy. Otherwise, we're going to go down. Surely he's not bigger than the club in that sense.
Yeah, I think if they were like 17th, then they would have to pull the trigger eventually.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I agree with that. Now,
15th.
Yeah.
I mean, what do Leeds expect? They're not going to be in the Champions League.
True. I think they probably overperformed last season.
Yeah.
We'll go on to Brentford versus Wolves, though, and we'll speak about Brentford first. One player who's not heavily linked, but there seems to be talks going on. I'm not sure if you've seen is Christian Eriksen, which I just briefly mentioned before. And Christian Eriksen seems to be recovering. Obviously, it's been a difficult recovery for him, very clearly. And it's a very inspiring story to see him back in the Premier League or linked back to the Premier League. Now, do you think he can improve Brentford? Do you think he can get amongst the sort of creativity stats, or do you think it's not going to be much of an improvement?
I mean, I think Brentford is the right place to go for him because, let's be honest, it's Brentford.
Yeah.
He's going to be their best player.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
It's like if you put Papi Digiboji in the middle of Aldershot. He's going to be their best player.
Is he the centre-back of Sunderland? Is he at Sunderland currently?
Yeah, we signed him. Because God knows why Chelsea signed Papi Digiboji, but
the only reason I know him is from FIFA 16. He was good on FIFA 16. And that's not to sound like a FIFA merchant. That's the only reason I know him. But yeah,
I think that Christian Eriksen will create for Brentford, and then it's how much is he allowed to play?
Yeah, 100%. It's hopefully he can play more often than he can't play, if that makes sense. And like I've said for weeks, it's nice to see. It's a nice story. It's a very sort of wholesome story. Although something that isn't wholesome and someone that isn't wholesome recently is Thomas Frank. He's been an absolute idiot the past week. He said United were very lucky to win and they didn't deserve to win. And then he got sent off for aggression on, was it Saturday? They played, it was Saturday. Now, I don't think he's got the right to be that arrogant, although he's a good manager. What's your opinion on Thomas Frank?
I mean, who was that manager a few years ago that said, I'm the best manager in the world, and then got sacked like 2 weeks later?
Was it John Carver?
Yeah.
At Newcastle. I remember that. I remember John Carver. He said, I'm the best coach in the Premier League, he said.
It gives me those vibes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Man United is like as downhill as it's gone. You're not that bad.
Oh no!
And for him
we
to
deserve
go,
to win the game.
yeah, we deserve to win that game. No,
No chance. Yeah, no chance. Now, Wolves, and something that I'm very jealous of, and the first goal, especially watching that first goal on Match of the Day, is a goal that Manchester United would struggle to score. As much as I rate McTominay and Fred as individual players, they're not holding midfielders. And obviously Bruno Fernandes is more creative. The first goal I would say we would struggle to score, and we have struggled to score this season. The first goal was from João Moutinho, who I will take in our midfielder, and the second goal, ironically, was from Ruben Neves, who would also take in our midfield. Bruno Lage has got them playing a lot better than Nuno had them playing, in my opinion. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I didn't really rate Nuno.
No, I didn't rate him at all. I think he was massively not overrated. He did a good job with them. I just think he wasn't a great manager, or sort of the manager that Tottenham thought he would be. I wouldn't say he was overrated. Like I said, I think he was just there, like one of them managers that's just there, sort of thing. But Wolves seems to be doing well. Now let's get into the comments. Haven't Leeds gone through a lot of injuries this season? To be fair to, yeah, they've had Bamford injured. I think Harrison was injured for a period. Jack Harrison. I'm not sure about Rafinha. I'm not sure about the other players. I think Llorente was injured as well. Diego Llorente, is his name Diego Llorente, the centre back? His name's definitely Llorente. Kind says this isn't relevant, but for one of my dream jobs, I emailed someone who does a business revolving it, and he replied asking for my CV. I'm gassed. Happy for you, Kind man. Happy for you. Hopefully you get that job. Well done, mate. Also, hello, Kian. Hello. I hope you're all right, mate. Bielsa had a lot of issues this season, to be fair. I'd like to see him manage a big club and see how he do. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Hello, line. This is why Rooney... Nah, I'm not going to put that on screen, man. I'm not going to put that on screen. You can't be saying that, man. I just realised what you just said. Bloody hell. Little Brentford making moves. Thomas Frank is a madman. Careful how you say Man United. What? I'm confused. Are you confused as me? As well as me? Yeah, I'm very confused. We'll go on to Southampton City, though. Man United's title charge is on now. We've gained 2 points on him.
I said this. When that result came in, I went, we beat Tottenham. Title charge is back on.
I wouldn't be surprised if City lose it from here, but it's just not going to happen, is it? It's like...
Well, you think about it, right? Chelsea are what? 10 points behind them? They've still got to play... Have they still got to play you?
Yeah.
That's 7 points behind because you'll beat them. Liverpool will beat them. 4 points behind. Then they start crapping it. Then they start losing left, right, and centre. Next thing you know, Chelsea have won the Premier League.
Nah, I can't see that happening. I can't see that happening.
Not like it's only 3 games. 3 losses and we're a point behind them.
It's yeah, but when does City ever lose 3 games? When do they ever lose 1 game, really?
You beat them, Liverpool beat them, and then they'll lose to like West Ham.
I think you're deluding yourself there, mate.
Title charges on.
United title charges on, I'm saying, but Kyle Walker-Peters, what a goal it was from Kyle Walker-Peters. I literally just walked in the house and put the TV on as he scored the goal. It's his first goal in the Premier League, and then Laporte getting the goal and getting his leg absolutely mashed up in the process of that game. I'm not sure if you've seen it on his Twitter. It was absolutely mental, his leg. Southampton are playing, well, they've managed to pick up some form, I would argue. James Ward-Prowse again having a good performance. Do you think James Ward-Prowse should go to the Euros?
I think he should.
I
think England need to abandon this, like you play for a big club, you're here. Like instantly.
Yeah.
Like we used to take like Wayne Rooney when he was injured.
Yeah, we did, yeah. And we played him on the left wing at one point, didn't we? At Euro 2016, we played him on the left wing.
Yeah, it's like, that's mental. A bloke that's been injured for 6 months has suddenly gone to the Euros.
Yeah,
Mind-boggling.
we probably shouldn't have took Rooney then to the Euros. Obviously, he did keep getting injured in them last few seasons, but again, hopefully City lose this title. I would prefer Chelsea to win it over City. I would obviously prefer us to go on the title charge, but it's not going to happen. Now, again, obviously you support Chelsea. Chelsea's 2, Spurs 0, and I thought it was a very interesting game. Nothing really happened in the first half. Second half, Hakim Ziyech
Well,
came
except
out
the
with
Kane incident.
yeah,
Is that a foul?
Yeah, wasn't a foul, was it?
I think Thiago Silva's experience has shown there. The second that hand has gone on his back, he's got a foul there.
Yeah. He's managed to use his experience and it wasn't a foul really. It should have been given, but at the end of the day, it wasn't given. And Hakim Ziyech, man, what a goal! What a moment of magic! And I don't like it when people say, "Oh, this team like Man United, for example. Man United are running off individual brilliance, or Chelsea are running off individual brilliance." Because when you see their moments of individual brilliance, you're absolutely stunned. Like takes your breath away. Do you know what I mean? You're like,
it was so far in the top corner that if it goes an inch higher or an inch to the left, it hits the post.
Yeah, 100%. Hold on, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if my my microphone is sort of messing up there. I apologise if it is. I've just heard a little beep in my earphone. Who does this guy support? John supports Chelsea. Kine. Now, I want to get your opinion on the performance, because I personally didn't think it was a great performance from Chelsea. I want to get your opinion on the performance and your opinion on Thomas Tuchel in general.
I think first half it was like we kind of just let them play, like we were just knocking the ball around for fun.
Yeah,
not really doing much. It was like we were the big brother and they were the little brother. And then second half, like the father's come out and he's gone, "Oi, stop it."
Yeah.
So it goes 1-0, 2-0, and then we're like, right, now we just won't beat them 5-0.
Yeah, just control the game and shut up.
Give them a little bit of respect, but they know.
Yeah.
Beating them 3 times in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, like I want to get your opinion on Tuchel. Karen's asked your opinion there. What is your opinion?
He's played like 4 formations in a year, and they've all worked. He's lost 8 games in a year. 8 games.
If you look at it like that, obviously you're not challenging for the title currently. But if you look at it like that, you can't argue.
He has yet to not get to a final of a competition.
Wow. Yeah, he's doing very well. Would you personally, if you were in charge of Chelsea at the end of the season, would you let him go?
No. You let him go?
I think Chelsea will let him go. I think if you don't get top 4 or you don't win anything, I think you'll let him go.
Top 4 is about as secure as it could be.
I'm not sure it is if you lose a few games.
Look, we will not lose another game till the end of the season.
Oh, you've made some bold statements here. You made some bold statements.
We don't have anyone to play. We played Liverpool and we played City. We beat the rest of the Premier League.
You've got us to play, haven't you? Again,
beat you 3-1
at Old Trafford.
We'll beat you 3-1. Rafinha penalty, Mount, and then Ziyech. Actually, Lukaku will score a goal.
He's another player I want to ask your opinion on. Now, I'm going to give my opinion on Lukaku first, because obviously he played for United.
Yeah.
At United, he reminded me of a player. It's going to sound so stupid, but similar to Ibrahimovic at United, because he just didn't fit the system or anything. He wants everything to work around him and him do absolutely nothing. That was my opinion, sort of. And his attitude off the pitch as well was awful. I could not stand his attitude off the pitch. And it felt like it just didn't work. It felt like he wants just everything built around him, which I know certain players are like that. But modern day football, it isn't just about scoring, especially in the Premier League. It isn't just about scoring as a forward. You've got to work very hard as a forward nowadays. you look at the likes of Harry Kane, he works relatively hard, but I don't know. What is your opinion on Lukaku?
He's worse than Morata. He's one of the worst strikers we've ever had at the club. He's worse than Shevchenko. At least Torres tried. Pato tried.
Now
he
you've
just
made
stands
that
there
argument,
and then
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. He just stands there and does nothing.
And then he goes to Italian media and says, I was expecting different formation. Like, you've come to the European champions. What do you expect? Us to just make the formation about you?
That's my point. He wants everything to be around him. It's very frustrating when he was at United. I'm so glad Solskjaer spotted it from day one and got rid of him, personally. Now, he obviously said about Inter Milan. My argument is, you've just moved to the European champions. What else do you want? Like, you moaned when you came to United. You moaned when you went to Inter Milan. And now you're moaning at Chelsea. What is it you actually want? Because right now you're at factually the best team in the world, or the best team in Europe. So what is it he wants? Do you agree with that sort of perspective, or do you disagree?
Yeah. He won't even be number one striker next year. Broha from Southampton will be. He'll be number one.
You think he'll be playing over it? I do rate Broja or Broha, however you pronounce it.
Lukaku is awful.
I agree with you. I'm hesitant to give my opinion on Lukaku because he scores. He's been a goal machine for nearly 8 years now, maybe longer than that. But he just does nothing else, and his attitude's off.
The teams he's played for, United, he wasn't that. He didn't score that many.
He scored 29 in one season, but
they're West Brom. Who else did he play for? Everton. They're Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that league is so slow. I reckon I could play there.
I completely agree with you. I couldn't agree more with you, to be honest with you. Like, every time I see him play, I'm thinking this guy is awful. Like,
he plays some
awful.
Beautiful football when like Havertz and Werner are playing.
It's the players who are team players. So you've got Werner. Without Werner, you probably would have struggled to score that goal in the Champions League final against City. Thank God you did score it. Ziyech, his passes are sometimes unbelievable. You can't really say the same for Lukaku. Even Kante, obviously. Kante is very widely loved across the game of football, not just by Chelsea fans.
Yeah.
For quite a while, Kante has been a team player. He's not just all about him. Do you know what I mean? There's so many players where you've got to be a team player, and Lukaku just isn't one. And I do personally think you should get rid of him. Do you think you should get rid of him?
I would go one step further. We are multi-billionaires. Put him in the reserves and say, you're staying there, mate.
Wow, that is harsh.
You don't disrespect the club. Put him in the reserves. Go, you're playing with the under-18s until you actually want to play.
Yeah,
don't want to
until
play.
You care. Until you care.
We did the same with Malouda. Malouda disrespected the club, and we went, right, you've got 2 years on your contract. You train over there, mate.
Fair enough. We'd have half our team in there if that was the case. Sancho made Chelsea shit. There is this ongoing meme, and I love that meme personally. What do you think of
that? You're fourth, we're third, and European champions, and in the final of the League Cup. And next month we play in the Club World Cup.
You've had us there. Come to the theatre and watch the Manchester Reds put on a show. We will. We'll beat you. I think we'll beat you. The United days.
Central.
At the moment, well, not at the moment. A few weeks ago, it was up until a few weeks ago. The United days under Lukaku was painful. First touch of Moonball. He was awful.
In the City game, Chelsea were pressing, and it pans round to Lukaku, and he's on the halfway line. The ball is less than 10 foot away, and he's tying up his laces. What's that about?
Unbelievable. Tells Ziyech to improve his right foot. I can play him on the right with his card. Right, with his FIFA card. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Going to Leicester 1, Brighton 1. Now, my guy, that guy Welbeck will just always be that guy. I've loved him since I was very young. It's like I always liked him at United. Just one of them players that I just like. And he managed to score again. He's getting amongst the goals this season, quite a few of them. I think he's got 5 goals this season. And he doesn't start every game. He barely starts to be honest with you. But Patson Daka again scoring. Do you think he's going to be a great Vardy replacement for when Vardy ends up retiring?
Yeah, decent player. But you've got big boots there to fill.
Oh yeah, Vardy is probably a Premier League legend at this point. I would argue. Would you?
Well, if you're putting Steven Gerrard in there, Vardy has to be there.
Yeah, you've got to put Vardy in there, 100%. But they've not done too well this season, Leicester, in comparison to recent seasons. I think they're 11th or 10th. And 10th. And recent seasons they've been in the top 4 for the longest time and then dropped into 5th. I know they've just won the FA Cup, but do you think Brendan Rodgers? What do you think about him? Do you think he should go at the end of the season, or?
It depends, what Leicester actually want. If they're happy with 10th and then some seasons getting 8th, then they'll keep him and try and go again.
Yeah.
If they actually believe that season in, season out they can get Europa League and Champions League football, then he has to go.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We'll go to Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 3, and you could almost say it was a routine win for Liverpool, but if you actually watch the game, it was a difficult win for them because at the end of the day, they pushed him and they pushed him and they pushed him. I know it was 3-1, but I thought they played very well, and they could have scored around 5 if they were clinical enough. Crystal Palace, but Liverpool could have scored 7 if they were clinical enough. I want to get your opinion on Crystal Palace because Donny van de Beek has been linked with them to go on loan today. And if he goes on loan there, do you think he'll do well, or do you think he'll not start over Conor Gallagher?
He won't start over Conor Gallagher. Absolutely no chance.
No, I don't.
So he'll be on the bench again.
I agree.
And I'm United really at the point where they're going to start someone that can't even get on the Crystal Palace bench. You might as well sell the bloke.
It's very unpopular to say that, but I do agree. It's just not worked out with Donny for one reason or another. 3 different managers have not started him, and he's been linked with moves away to Everton, to Crystal Palace, and to other teams. but United are refusing to let him go, and this is very stupid in my opinion, because why would you not let a player go that isn't playing? There's a lot of talk that it's Ralph Rangnick refusing to let him go, but there was talk that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was refusing to let him go. So that makes me think it must be the club that's refusing to let him go, surely. Again, we've said he wouldn't fit at Palace. Conor Gallagher is obviously mostly always the star player on the pitch for Crystal Palace. But Hudson Edouard as well, what a signing. And Michael Elise, what a player. Do you think Patrick Vieira is building something great there?
I said at the beginning of the season with a Crystal Palace fan that it would be either they do really well and everything clicks, or they get relegated. And it is absolutely perfect at Crystal Palace currently. Everything is just smooth and nice. It's when they lose 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Can Vieira do that?
Can he handle that dressing room? Yeah. They do seem to be playing very well. I'm jealous that it was Roy Keane that's not really done great as a manager, and not Vieira. But at the end of the day, they're playing very attractive football, I would argue. Obviously, with Roy Hodgson, who's now going to Watford, you sort of knew what you would get. It's sort of very static, very well drilled, very defensive, and holding out for certain draws and things like that. Whereas they're going to go for it pretty much every game, and they're taking every team to the wire pretty much. They've not really been battered this season, have they, by anyone I can't think of.
And he's gone about his managerial career the right way. He went to France and he went, okay, this is the style I want to play, developed it for a few years, and then has come to the Premier League and gone, right, this is the way I play. And he's done it. Whereas others, they go to the Championship for 1 year, don't know what they're doing, then just kind of fluke everything they try and do.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kine says Donny is average. Donny can play with Gallagher. Do you think he would fit in a midfield with Gallagher?
It would be the biggest carry job I've ever seen in my life.
The biggest Carrick job, did you say?
Carry.
Oh, carry job. Oh, right. Yeah. Mate,
I would have Barkley over Donny van der Beek.
Wow. Oof.
I'm sure Barkley's played more Premier League football than Donny van der Beek.
Oh, yeah, he has, but is he? I don't think he's as talented as him. Does he work as hard as him? Possibly. We don't really know. We haven't seen enough of Barkley.
I can work hard. Doesn't mean I'm a very good footballer.
The argument is that Donny van der Beek got to a Champions League semi-final with that Ajax team, and he's also he was a Ballon d'Or nominee. But Simon Kjaer was a Ballon d'Or nominee. And Marley says, sorry, Kim, but I have to go. If you're being serious, I hope you have a good evening. I think it's night time for you. If you're not being serious, I do apologise. These discussions have to be had. Just wait till you get me, Gavin, and Kine on the show next month on Valentine's Day, where there's going to be a weekly show starting. But do you think he's really that bad?
He is awful. For 3 managers not to like him.
Yeah, there has to be something about him. It can't be, because with any other manager, if it was, let's say, Scott McTominay, or if it was, let's give an example of Chelsea, if it was Mason Mount, 3 different managers hadn't started him, then there would be people saying there has to be something wrong with 3 managers not starting him. Hudson-Odoi. You think he's awful?
No, he's on 120 grand a week, right? Wow. He's younger than me. And so far, there's not been a manager that's actually started him consistently. It's only because of injuries that he's playing now.
I think he was overrated when he was being linked with Bayern Munich, personally, Hudson-Odoi.
He had the potential. He just...
Yeah.
Not actually that good.
No. Dia says, would you say McTominay or Freddie's better than Donny then? I would argue both of them as individual players are better than him. I would also say possibly, and my mind can be changed here. Like if my mind changes and Donny gets on the games and my mind changes, my mind can be changed. But the McTominay and Fred partnership is not as good as Donny playing, but I would argue that they're both better individual players than him. What's your opinion on that?
I'd say that is correct. They are an awful pairing.
Yeah.
When they start together, I think, here we go. My Twitter feed is going to be unreal today.
Yeah, but it's difficult, man, because we've not seen enough of him in the Premier League. It's difficult.
Would you say any midfielder gets in a Chelsea, Man United kind of lineup?
Any midfielder?
Any Man United midfielder?
McTominay.
He's better than Kante.
No, he's not better. He's not
top 3 Ballon d'Or.
Who's your box midfielder? Is it Jorginho? I would say
top 3 in the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, but I think that was skewed. I think we all know Jorginho shouldn't have been in there. I personally think McTominay is a better player than Jorginho.
Come on.
I love McTominay.
You are having me on there.
We've made some bold statements here on this video, but I don't know. There's an argument to be made. A lot of Chelsea fans on a Twitter space was saying Jorginho isn't all that. Would Pogba get into Chelsea's midfield? I'm not sure.
Oh, you might have one. I'll give you Pogba. Because Pogba can say
ability-wise, yes. But I think he's similar to Lukaku. He just doesn't work hard enough.
I think Pogba will work very well at PSG.
Probably.
You've got Neymar and Mbappe, and they're not exactly the hardest working players.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Imani says, Donny is a Muller-type player. Only certain managers can work with him. No more comments from me. If only certain managers, I understand Muller is a sort of unique player and things like that. And Muller, to me, is one of the most underrated players to ever live. I actually love Thomas Muller. I love watching him play personally. But if Donny is a Muller-type player and he's not as good as Thomas Muller, then, and it can only fit a certain system, then surely he's not the right player for the Premier League. there's an argument to be had. It's difficult conversations because of how unpopular these opinions are, but I think that these conversations sort of have to be had in a way. Pogba, Kante midfield. I'm
Works
not
for
sure.
France.
It works for France, but I'm not sure on a weekly basis that would work personally.
But they both get injured.
True, yeah. If we get Zakaria / CDM, McTominay would be fantastic. I agree. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. I think possibly the most underrated player in the league, personally. My camera's gone out of focus there. I do apologise. There we go. Do you agree with that?
Most underrated CGM in the Premier League.
Not CDM, no. He's a box-to-box midfielder.
Okay. So you're going most underrated midfielder?
Arguably one of the most underrated players in the league currently, yeah.
Players. We're not even going midfielder. Players.
Me and Kine in the chat both agree with this. I was speaking to him about this the other day.
That's a bold claim.
Yeah. I think there's an argument to be had, though. I think he's been used in the wrong position more often than not. I don't know, though. I don't know. Someone said McTominay is very underrated. Slugger RLFC says that. Thank you for coming in the chat. I've just seen that you've come in. I think he is very underrated, personally. There's a reason that every coach he's ever worked with rates him, and Sir Alex Ferguson rates him.
There is also a reason that Man United have not won a trophy in a very long time. And it's because you've got used to hyping the likes of McTominay.
I'm not
You
sure.
think he's a good player, when in reality, probably doesn't start for about half the teams in the Premier League. And it's why you don't win trophies.
I think as a box-to-box, he does. Every time he plays in that box-to-box role, he's very good. We've made some very
dominate the trophies. And Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, right? Arsenal sometimes, but they're not that good. He doesn't start for Liverpool, doesn't start for City, and doesn't start for us.
I think there's an argument to be made that when McTominay's at his best, he possibly starts over Thiago.
And there is not a single player Man United have that starts for any of those three clubs.
Rashford?
Absolutely not.
Ronaldo?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Ronaldo is now 38. We're not talking about like the 26, 27 beast. He's slow.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's a harder working Lukaku.
No, I would never compare him to Lukaku. He's in the top two greatest players ever.
Stands there and waits. He's only one of the best players ever because of the years from like 19 to 35.
No.
He was rubbish at Juventus, and he's only slightly upgraded from rubbish at Man United.
He's not got a particularly great team around him, though. And he didn't have... And I don't like to slander Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not like to me, I don't think it was mostly Ole's fault. But Ole wasn't the best manager in the world tactically. Even the biggest Ole fan would tell you that. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't start Ronaldo more games than I would start Ronaldo currently. But
so how does he get in the top three teams in the Premier League then?
Because he scores so many. Look how many times he's bailed us out this season.
I could bail you out this season. You've been appalling at times.
What about Varane?
No.
Pogba? Does he start for any?
No, he doesn't start.
Wow.
He can get on the bench. I'll give Varane and Pogba the bench.
No one hypes McTominay, Dia said. It's what Donny does off the ball that was his game. Similar to Muller. His intelligence is unmatched to a lot of these players and doesn't suit our system. He suits Bayern perfectly. Oh, yeah, no arguments that Donny van de Beek would suit a team like Bayern Munich or Bayern Munich. But what my point is, I think in the Premier League, personally, he's only ever shown me that he's average at the moment. So I'm not sure. Slugger says the reason why we haven't won a trophy in many years is because of the egos of some of the players. I agree with that. Haven't won a trophy due to managers and attitude. You'd never have that issue at Chelsea considering you're owned by Roman Abramovich. I'm not going to read the rest of that.
I mean, he did sue 3 newspapers and did make an awful lot of money from it for that exact comment. because they said the same thing. So he won.
Yeah,
the three-quarter
I'm
races.
not saying that on YouTube. Not about Roman Abramovich.
Thank you.
Varane, David De Gea, and Bruno start for all LM teams. Do you reckon Bruno
Who
does?
just won best goalkeeper in the world? Mendy. Thank you.
I think De Gea is
Bruno, absolutely not.
Varane and Pogba starts for any Premier League team. I would say on his day, Pogba starts for any team in the world ever.
You're having a giggle. Rudiger and Thiago Silva are better than Varane. Comfortably.
No.
Comfortably. It's not even close.
Varane is currently better than Thiago Silva.
I've been on the M25 and I'm at junction 6 and you've just started at junction 1. We're clear.
No chance. Varane is better than Thiago Silva.
Absolutely not.
He is.
Absolutely not.
Late to the party, Gavin says, hope you're having a good stream so far, lads. It's been a great one. It's been one of the best Premier League game week reviews so far. We've both made some very bold claims, Gavin. Pogba on form starts for everyone in the world. I would argue that.
Did your body on form starts for everyone in the world?
No, Pogba on form. I don't particularly like Pogba at United because of his attitude, but on form, he starts for everyone at United. I think. It starts for everyone in the world, sorry. Do you know who doesn't he start for?
In the world?
Yeah.
PSG, Bayern Munich, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Stoke. Pogba is not that good a footballer. If you had world-class players at your football club, you'd win trophies. You don't. So you don't have world-class footballers.
I disagree that
Pogba on
his day is world-class.
The only one that I would consider as world-class is Ronaldo. Because of what he did about 5 years ago.
Pogba on his day is world-class, man.
You could put Pele on the pitch. He's world-class because of what he did about 50 years ago.
Nah, Pogba has to be.
He is not. And what we classify as world-class, because I consider
top 10 players in the
top 10
the respective position.
Top
so
10.
In that box,
I'd say top 3 because you're going at 110 players then.
Elite is top 3 in my opinion, or top 5 then. Top 5.
Okay, I'll go top 5. He's not top 5 in the world.
Who's
top 5 at Man United?
Who's in front of Pogba then? And I'm arguing Pogba's case here, and I don't particularly sort of like Pogba at United. I'm arguing Pogba's case.
You've got the top 10 that were in the Ballon d'Or. Those midfielders better than Pogba.
I can't agree, man. I can't say Jorginho is a better midfielder than Pogba on his day. Like Paul Pogba is an unbelievable player on his day. It's just not his day very often. Sometimes players get into a team based solely because of their determination, passion, and drive towards the club. McTominay has that and puts in decent performances. I agree with that. Lucas says, man, compare Ronaldo to Lukaku and Creasing. Do you want to explain why?
Because he stands there and works a little bit hard. He's only slightly better than Lukaku.
Oh, he scored a lot more goals than Lukaku this season.
It's not a lot.
Who got in the team of the year? Not Mandy. That must have been autocorrect. Mad said Thiago Silva over Varane. You're saying you've got a jelly for the brain, eh?
That's all right. I want my team win trophies, and you can get closer and closer to being Arsenal.
Oh,
and then it's a small jump from Arsenal to Tottenham.
Rudiger is 28, and at 23, Varane was winning UEFA Champions League. I think Rudiger is one of the most underrated players in the world.
Ryan Bertrand at 19 won a Champions League. Does that make him world class?
No, but I would take Rudiger over Maguire. Over probably wouldn't take him over Lindelof. I would take Rudiger. I would take Rudiger over Maguire. Do you disagree with that?
I would take. Over Maguire, I would take Thiago Silva, Chalobah, Aspilicueta at centre-back, Reece James at centre-back, and Purdue at centre-back. There's 5. We can play a back 7, and Maguire doesn't even get in.
Yeah, I don't want to say that.
Maguire, he's awful.
That is a bad opinion. That Varane is a monster. He's a monster defender. He's amazing. So he's not better than Wijnaldum. He's not better than Musiala. You're clearly hating on United because you're jealous of our success. Do you agree with that?
What success?
We're putting you through the mill here.
What success?
Well, we are the most successful team in England.
Liverpool have just eclipsed you. Literally like 2 years ago.
Well, no, I think we're still the most successful club in England. Sure we are.
Because you went one above them and then they won the Premier League and the Champions League.
We didn't. No one saw it. No, there was no fans in the ground, so it didn't happen. Pogba is world class. Starts at any team with a stable CDM. I do agree with that. And
so now you're putting conditions on it.
But there's got to be conditions for every player, and I'm really trying to argue Pogba's case here. Like I say, and I personally, as I say, I don't think Pogba's style particularly suits the Premier League. But I'm arguing Pogba's case. I think he starts for anyone with a good CDM there. There shouldn't be a condition on it really, but
if he was a world-class player, he could do it on his own.
And Mbappe
he needs someone else.
Yeah, true. Pogba is always France's best player. I think Mbappe is always France's best player, personally. Do you?
Yes. I was trying to think of players that were are better. Kante, Lloris.
Yeah.
The back four.
Well,
if you play a 4-3-3, your right winger, your left winger, your striker, your other centre mid. And then you can have Pogba in 11th.
The right back isn't better than Pogba, is it? Benjamin Pavard.
Did you see that goal he scored in the World Cup? That's better than Pogba ever.
No, Pogba's performance against Switzerland was one of the best performances I've ever seen from any player. And they lost the game, like, ever. Honestly, I mean that. Yeah, one of the best midfield performances I've ever seen. It was an unbelievable midfield performance.
You need to watch Jorginho a bit more often.
No, Jorginho does not perform to that level. He does not perform to that level. Rudiger stepped up last 18 months. Varane doing it for 10 years. Champions League, Varane. True. Only Kroos is a better centre mid in the world than Pogba.
Kroos. Fucking Kroos. That level's what we're going to now. He hasn't been good for about 5 years.
Well, how many times did they win the La Liga with him in the team? They got to a Champions League semi-final last year.
Winning La Liga is like putting Man United in the National League and going, well done, you won the National League.
I guess, kind of. But
because who's challenging them? Barcelona aren't.
True. I think Sevilla are currently challenging them. Is 804 career goals a joke? Do you think it is?
This is what I'm on about. Stuff he did 5 years ago.
We've made some bold claims, both of us. I won't be surprised if this goes viral. Ronaldo didn't mug us for 80 million like Lukaku. Yeah, we bought it for 20 million or 22 million. Putting you through the mill here. There's been counter arguments being made.
Are we really going to go through like the players that you have bought that have turned out to be absolute arse?
Oh yeah, but
like Schneiderlin.
Schneiderlin had a lot of potential. I really wanted Schneiderlin to succeed, actually.
Maguire.
Sanchez. Wan-Bissaka. There's loads. There is loads. I would say Thiago Silva over Varane too, to be honest. This is a United fan, the master football fan, by the way. Second best centre-back in the world at the moment. I would take Varane, personally.
Why? At United?
He's been.
What's he do?
He's been our second best centre-back this season. Victor Lindelof has been our best centre-back this season.
So now you're saying Victor Lindelof over Thiago Silva?
No. But Varane has been injured. If Varane played more games, he would have been our best centre-back this season. Varane has been injured. Due to not much fault of his own, to be fair. 20 league titles and three Champions League that you might have won success. Top 5
I think I've been alive for about 6 of them. I would rather watch my team win my stuff, than read it in some dusty old newspaper.
Oh yeah, I would rather watch United win the stuff, but like who has actually won the treble? It's the most iconic night in English football history.
I was 2. I don't remember it. Therefore,
I know
I
I
don't
weren't
care.
born, but that's besides the point. It's still there. It still happened.
Preston went unbeaten in 1888. Are they suddenly put up there? Are they now world class?
No, but Preston are like a relatively big club because of that. They've got that history. Preston are a bigger club than Manchester City, and I mean that. I mean that.
I pull that stat out about once a month when an Arsenal fan goes, "We're the only team in England to have ever done it."
What?
No, they're not. You're not even the first.
Preston, yeah. Top 5 centre backs in the world for the mass football fan is Virgil van Dijk, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Diaz, Rudiger, Varane. I will put Varane over Diaz, personally. What success? Okay, 20 league titles, 3 Champions Leagues, 12 FA Cups, 5 League Cups, 1 Super Cup, 1 Europa League, 1 Cup Winners' Cup. That's the best competition to ever grace any football. 21 Community Shields, 1 Super Cup, 1 FIFA Club World Cup. We've got more success than Chelsea.
I'd rather watch it, and 21 of them don't count. We're not counting Community fucking Shields. It's a dinner plate.
Still a trophy.
It is not a trophy. It's a glorified friendly because you're allowed 7 subs.
It's been a great stream. It's been one of the best. Mbappe was shocking in the Euros. Pogba was the best player. World Cup Pogba was the best, or maybe Anton. All right, you mean Griezmann, don't you? Antoine Griezmann. I was thinking you meant then. Mbappe isn't consistent for France like Pogba. This guy's talking absolutely shy. Wow. Cruz is so consistent, one of the most consistent Real players. He is consistent, to be fair, and he has been for many years, even for Bayern Munich. Ronaldo scored 804 goals in 5 years. Crazy. Keep chatting, dog wank.
I never said that. I said
did say he did it.
The stuff he did 5 years ago.
Oh right. So he was better than he is. He was better than he is now 5 years ago.
Which is true now.
Which is true, yeah. It's 37. On Schneiderlin's stats prior to joining us was on par with Prime Matic. I liked Schneiderlin personally. In the end, it didn't work out, but the midfield, Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger, I liked it. Schneiderlin was good when he signed. Clearly didn't want when he was a baller in the EFL 2016. Ibrahim says, "Yo, we've got a lot of comments here. Thiago Silva is better than Varane at the moment for me, but no doubt Varane will come good for us."
In about 5 years, when Thiago Silva's about 40 odd, then Varane will be better.
We still got one more Premier League game to go as well. Also, titles don't count unless you're born. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, you can have them. You're welcome to them, but I would rather watch my team win a title than open up a book and read that we did it.
I want to watch United win a title, but I don't want the history wiped out of winning the Champions League title, the European Cup in 1958. 68. I've got confused there. That's because I'm thinking about so many titles. I would also rather read that we've won the treble. Do you know what I mean? Rather than never win the treble.
Well, obviously.
Don't talk to a Chelsea fan about history.
First English club to ever make it into Europe.
Watch your team win it 2 trophies in 30 years. That's vintage Liverpool for you. He's a Chelsea fan, but you've not won that many trophies in 30 years, have you? To say history is meaningless if you weren't there can't possibly be a good take. Because you didn't see it, don't mean you don't acknowledge its existence. It's true that.
No, I would just rather watch it. Either you can go to the game, you can go to Porto, see your team winning Champions League, then rather than read about winning that cup in a book.
So you would not, you would rather the 2 Champions Leagues that you've currently got rather than read about that your team won the treble in 1999 if Chelsea did, obviously if it was Chelsea rather than United.
I would take 2 Champions Leagues over 3 that we won 50 years ago.
Wow. I can't. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Treble. I'd rather win the treble.
I don't know about that. Thiago Silva's past it is just shielded by how Chelsea set up. I disagree with that. I think he's a very good player.
If you're saying Thiago Silva is past it, Ronaldo is past it. They're the same age.
You read the comments about goals, and then he said, "I don't care what he did 5 years ago." I read it on Google, not dusty paper. Ironic. You've got kind triggered here. I was born in 1990, so I've seen 2 Champions Leagues and countless Premier Leagues and FA Cups. Well, I was born in 2002, so I've seen some Premier Leagues and 1 Champions League. First English club to win the treble. Oh, and the only one to do so. Yeah, that history, you can't take that history away. Lukaku is so below Ronaldo, it's mad. One performed in La Liga, Serie A, and Premier League for many, many years, while one can't keep it in his mouth. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, Lukaku is over 100 goals in Premier League. He's done it in Serie A. He just hasn't gone to La Liga yet. If he went to La Liga and played for like,
so you're saying
Sevilla,
it would? Are you saying it would eclipse Ronaldo's career?
Yes.
What? No way. No way, man. Right, we'll move on to Arsenal Burnley. What is your opinion on Arteta?
He needs to be sacked.
I think that. I agree with that.
They are awful.
They're not even entertaining. I feel like the way he's got Saka and Smith Rowe playing is good, but they're not very entertaining.
Yeah, it's like watching Chelsea under Sarri. You turn a game off after like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what they're trying to do at Arsenal. There's no like direction. I don't buy any good players.
They've just lost out on Vlahovic.
And they're a joke. They are the Premier League joke club.
Yeah. Burnley, they're going down, aren't they, as well? They're destined to go down. Yeah. I do want to say thank you for coming on this stream. It's been one of the best streams on the channel so far because we've both had disagreements. The channel have had disagreements with you. The chat's been very active. So thank you for coming on. And and make sure you check out Jon May. It's Jon May, isn't it?
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Jon May on YouTube. JONMAY. Are you on Twitch as well?
Yeah, same thing. It's always Jon May.
Jon May. Just check him out on social medias. He's available on social medias. Thank you for coming on. Hope you guys have a good week. I might be live again on Thursday at 4 p.m, but I'm not 100% sure. Might not be because it's one of my cousin's birthdays on that day. So the next time I might be live might be next week with a Chilled Vibes episode, and then I'll be back with Premier League Game Week Review the week after. Make sure you stay tuned. Have a good evening, and thank you for coming.